All right, hello. Here we are looking at lesson 7.1.3. The lesson is titled, How Can I Find the Rate? We are going to try to figure out unit rates today. If you open up Schoology, which I'm sure you already have, you have connected with this video, and there's also an assignment for you to complete. The assignment has what you see in front of you along with a second page. This one is going to help us to try to figure out how many miles a car can go on so much gasoline. And in order to figure out the unit rate, we need to do some detective work, some figuring. And I'm going to focus on just the first column. And in the first column, I'm going to look at some things that I know. I don't know how much it is for 1 gallon, but that's what I'm going to be figuring out because that is the unit rate. That's what we're trying to focus in on in this lesson. I do know that if I have 5 gallons in my car, I can go 150 miles. Now I can change this using what I know about fractions, using what I know about division. I can change this in a similar way to how I change fractions into equivalents to 1 by making this a division problem. And I can do 5 divided by 5, and that equals 1. If I do the same thing to 150, 150 divided by 5 equals 30. Now this 30 that I'm taking is the distance I can travel with 1 gallon of gas if I am driving car A. So I'm going to take this 30 and I'm going to put it up here because 30 is the unit rate for this car. What I can do then is I can think to myself, well, if I want to go from 1 to 3, I multiply 1 times 3 and I get 3. If I multiply 3 times 30, I get 90 miles. This is 30 miles. And I can keep going. Each time I'm going to multiply by the number that is in the gas column. I'm going to go ahead and let you figure that out. Remember, this is our unit rate for car A. To figure out the unit rate for car B, I have 2 possibilities again to look at. I have car B going 54 miles on 3 gallons of gas, or 180 miles on 10 gallons of gas. So what I am going to try to do is think which of those is the easiest math for me to do. And usually when I'm working with 10s or 5s, it's a lot easier for me to do the figuring. So I'm going to go ahead and, in the similar way that I did up here, I'm going to divide 10 by 10. That turns it into 1, because any fraction with the same number in the denominator and the numerator has an equivalency to 1. If I divide this by 10, I'm going to divide this by 10. 180 divided by 10 gives me 18, and 18 miles is what I have for my unit rate up here. This is per gallon. This is per gallon. And then again, I can do math. I can multiply. This would be 5 times 18. That gives me the number that would go here. It would be 6 times 18. And this would be 12 times 18. And I'm going to let you figure those out using your calculator or whatever other method you'd like to figure those problems out with. All right, then let's figure out the unit rate for the last car. The last car, if I'm looking, the only thing that I have gas information and mileage information is 6 gallons of gas, and car C can go 120 miles. So again, I'm going to divide this by 6. That gives me 1. Whatever I do to the number over here, I'm going to do to this. 120 divided by 6 gives me 20. So that is my unit rate, 20 miles per gallon of gas. I'm going to go ahead and again let you figure out the rest of these. It's a simple in-out table. You have all been working in science on distance, rate, and time problems. Let's take a look real quick at these 2 questions at the bottom. Which car can travel the farthest on 5 gallons of gas? You are going to need to know this information. So we're going to have you figure that out. Maybe we'll go back and figure that out in just a moment. Down here, which car has the best unit rate? That one we can answer pretty quickly. What I'm looking for when I am trying to figure out the best unit rate is I am thinking about which one of these cars can go the farthest on 1 gallon of gas. And if you think about what you know about numbers, car A is best at 30 miles per gallon. And logically, if this one can go the best for 1 gallon of gas, it probably is the same for the 5 gallons, but let's just double check real quick. That's 150. 5 times 18, if I do what I know about area models, 5 times 8 is 40. Try and remember that in my head or write it down here. 5 times 10 is 50, and that gives me 90. This one over here, if I do 20 or 5 times 20, I get 100. So double checking the math, I have car A goes farthest. All right, I want you to go ahead and figure out the rest of these empty spaces. Remember, all you have to do is multiply however much gas you have over here by the unit rates that are circled in that 3rd row. Then if we take a look at our 2nd page, we have some more work with unit rates. This time, it's kind of fun. We're thinking about which cell phone company offers the lowest rate per minute. And we have set this problem up for you. We're going to take the price divided by the minutes, and that is going to give us how much it is per minute. And when I do the math, and I do have a calculator over here, when I do the math, I can go ahead and I can do $19.95 divided by 100, and that gives me 0.1995. Which I'm going to change into a 2 decimal space answer because that's how we write change. I'm going to round that to 20 cents. Go ahead and solve these other 3 problems. Use the graph at the right-hand corner to answer these questions. We'll go over this at the beginning of our lesson tomorrow. And remember, if you have any questions, you can hop on the conference in Schoology at 10 o'clock. Until next time.